Good morning. We're here for a special purpose, and in the next few minutes we should bring awareness to a very special cause. So please pay attention. Mr. Greenler.
All around me are familiar faces, worn out places, worn out faces, bright and early for the daily races, going nowhere, going nowhere. Their tears are filling up their glasses, no expression, no expression. Out of my head I wanna drown my sorrow. No tomorrow, no tomorrow.
You can see now the cause that our special guests are promoting. To bring it more local, I guess, remember last May we went through a tragedy with the loss of Tucker, Jeremy Tucker. And if there's a good thing that came out of that, we may have lost Jeremy, but several other people had a new lease on life because Jeremy and his people closest to him decided that they would donate his organs, and several people have a new lease on life as a result of that. Soon after that, some of our students also promoted the bracelet campaign, you remember, and another donation was also made to organ donation. So it's kind of become a cause that Sarek has championed in the last little while. Around about that time, we were asked if we would be involved in Step by Step's latest venture. We're pleased to have with us today a few people. This poster has been in the office at Sarek since that time last year. It's called Christopher's Wish. Christopher Knowles at that time was 13 or 14 years old, waiting for a liver transplant, and he walked a long, long way with our other special guest. Christopher's with us today. You'll hear from him shortly. He's still waiting for a liver transplant. Now he's 17, same age as most of you. We also have with us George Marcellum. George, we just saw pictures of him with the Pope, with Sean Chrétien, and even Don Cherry. What has George been up to? Just listen carefully. In 1997, George walked from Toronto to Ottawa, promoting the cause. In 1999, he walked around the province of Ontario and inspired then Premier Harris to allocate $121 million towards this issue. In 2000, he walked 12,000 kilometers in a 769-day walk across Canada and inspired Canadian government to allocate $20 million. Later on, he inspired an audience with Pope John Paul, as you saw. In 2004, under Step by Step, his organization, he accompanied 14-year-old Christopher Knowles, who's with us, who needed a liver transplant across a 200-city tour across Canada. This was called Christopher's Wish. In 2005, under Step by Step, George organized a 5-country European tour. Since these countries led the world in organ and tissue donations, George met and gathered important information from health officials across Europe. During the end of his tour in France, George was stricken with thrombosis and needed another liver transplant. I neglected to mention that he did all the first several tours after having a liver transplant. When he got to France, he took sick again and needed a second liver. He's got that. In midsummer 2005, George received his second liver transplant in Toronto on his 50th birthday. 15 days later, he held a press conference in Queen's Park and urged the provincial and Canadian governments to make organ and tissue donations a priority. Since that time, he's had a dozen press conferences regarding the opt-out system. Just keeps going and going for the cause. In 2006, he once again walked from Toronto to Ottawa for a mother of two who needed a liver transplant. In total, George completed 15,000 kilometers. The tour we're part of, on October 1st, George set foot from St. John's, Newfoundland. He was in Sydney on Friday, here today. They continue on, and they're going to go across the country and then up north and ends in Iqaluit in June of 2008, a long way down the road. Once again, to raise funds and bring awareness to organ donation. Colton Carroll is with us. Colton, you'll know, is foster brother of Jeremy Tucker, and Colton has been selected as torch champion. And in just a few minutes' time, he's going to be with Christopher on this leg of the walk from here to the causeway, and we're going to send him off. As torch champion, Colton will be one of over 100 students right across the country who will have this honor. It's my great pleasure to introduce you to George Marcel.
Thank you, Mr. McDonald. First of all, good morning, everyone. I really want to thank you, Principal Mr. Sean McDonald, for making this day possible. And I also want to congratulate the Port Hawkesbury torch champion, COLTON CARROLL, who will soon begin making his way. And I also want to take this opportunity to thank the Sky Hotel for helping us out with accommodations while we're here in Port Hawkesbury, as well as Pizza Delight, who's been feeding us in Port Hawkesbury. And especially, I want to take this moment to dedicate today in tribute to Jeremy Tucker, because in the end, that's what it's all about. That's why we're doing all these things, is to reach people so that people can hopefully do the same thing that the Tucker family can do. And I can tell you, as a grateful liver transplant recipient, there's a lot more happier families around right now because of that. And I just can't express in words how much happier they are because that happened. And that's what it becomes all about. I just want to give you a little brief history about the torch that's going to be carried. It's presently outside, so people can get a chance to see it. During my walk across Canada, it was carried throughout the country, and there was a lot of people that carried the torch, including people that were on the waiting list that came out to carry it in the hopes that somehow more people would be reached and more people would sign their organ donor cards and discuss the wish with their family. And there's just dozens and dozens and dozens of stories attached to this torch. And then, of course, we got the call from Vatican City, where we brought it to Vatican City, and His Holiness Pope John Paul II at Vatican City blessed the torch and called organ and tissue donation a genuine act of love. And he went on to state